Quarterback Will Howard, front row. Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Well, you're going to have possibly a new configuration on the offensive line this week. Ryan said that Luke's going to at least be in the rotation. What's it been like to play behind all these different alignments, all these different configurations, and how much faith do you have that whatever you guys, the five you put out Saturday is going to be good enough?
I got all the faith in the world in those guys, man, and no matter who it is, I don't care. They're all here for a reason, and, they have to remember that. They're Buckeyes at the end of the day, and, man, it doesn't matter who's out there, who's playing. We've all been through the fire together. We all did mat drills together. We all, I have all the faith in the world in those guys, and no matter what, no matter who it is out there, just got to make sure we're playing with confidence, playing fast, playing physical, and just go and attack, because this is all we have left, man. This is it. We can't leave anything out there. So no, I got all the faith in those guys. They've been dealt a pretty tough hand this year, with all the injuries and the shuffling around they've had to do. I don't think Donnie would have expected that he was going to be playing tackle this year. Carson's playing guard and center. A lot of different things have happened, but just being able to weather the storm and try and figure out what we need to work on and do it and come out and prove everyone wrong. I'm excited for those guys. I think they have a heck of an opportunity in front of them. I'm excited for Luke. Whoever's out there, I got all the faith in the world in them. I'm not worried about that at all.
Third row left, Dan Hope, Lebanon Warriors.
Well, you mentioned this is all we have left. For those guys who have been here 4 or 5 years and this is the end of their careers, how much just do you feel driven to want to win this for them?
Yeah, I could say the same thing about myself. I've been playing college football for 5 years now, and this is all I have left. I have, 4 games max left in my college career. So, there's no other option than to just empty the tank and leave it all out here, because this is all we have left as college athletes. No, Ohio State or not, this is it. And I'm just excited to finish it the right way, because we have such a good group of guys, man, and we have such an unbelievable team that we have here. It's a special group, and we can't go out any other way than win it at all. That's the way that I see it, man. I want this for this team so bad.
Right behind it, Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Sort of on that note, you came here with the goal of winning a national championship. Obviously, the journey may not have gone exactly how you hoped, but that opportunity is still there for you. How much, you in particular, is that motivation to still have this opportunity in the expanded plan?
Yeah, this is what we're playing for, man. This is a new season. It's the playoffs, and the fact of the matter is, if we don't beat Tennessee, none of it matters. So we're worried about Tennessee right now, man, and we'll look forward after this game. But this is the most important thing, is beating Tennessee, because once you get the first win, you're able to pick up some momentum. But without winning the first one, nothing matters. So we got to beat Tennessee.
Right next door, Tony Girdman, Buckeye Huddle.
Will, how much better equipped are you guys right now to play in the cold than you were in the last game?
I don't know. It's cold out here, so I don't think that's a worry for us. We practice in the cold. I guess you could say we've had a little more practice in the cold, just because I think honestly this year just didn't really get that cold until maybe the up north game. And I don't think there's anything in particular, but we practice in it every single day. I've played in very cold conditions, so it's something we're used to.
Right next door, Stefan Kreisny, Cleveland.com.
Donovan was talking a bit about Seth and kind of the role he's had while he's not been playing. He's someone who's got playoff experience, has played against Tennessee in years past. Just how much has he kind of been able to add these last few weeks, even though he's not, out on the field?
Yeah, obviously we miss Seth out on the field, but you can still feel him in the room, and he's a coach, man. He's transitioned into kind of a player coach almost at this point. And he's just one of those guys that wants to contribute any way he can. And I know he's hurting. He wants to be out there. So, at the end of the day, he's doing everything he can with the position that, the tough hand he's been dealt. He's got to go out there and try and help us in any way he can, and that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to impact it from a different perspective, maybe more of a a guy who has experience and a guy who can give us advice and give us little tidbits here and there and still encourage the guys and be that force that he's been all year. And I think he's doing a great job of that.
How much was he kind of able to help you and Carson specifically? Because you didn't play with Carson last year. How much was Seth kind of just tendencies and things like that able to help Carson and you become full playing together?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Carson and I had gotten a lot of reps together through the spring and through the fall camp, so it wasn't necessarily a not familiar thing. It was more of just getting used to how this ball's coming back or communicating a little differently. But Seth was still involved in all those conversations and all of our protection meetings and anything like that. He's still involved, and like I said, he's trying to be a player coach and help out in any way he can, and he's definitely trying to help Carson out any way he can. But Carson's played a lot of ball, and he understands it too. So I think the two of them being able to kind of collaborate has helped.
Right behind him, Cameron Teague Robinson, the athletic.
Well, Ryan mentioned how important your leadership will be on Saturday. I'm curious, since that loss, how you've rallied, not only rallied yourself, but helped rally this group over the last couple weeks here ready for the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. I'm not going to lie, but yeah, my ability to push this team and to lead this team in this game is going to be crucial, and I know that. And I think that if we can maintain that edge that we had, I think really in that Indiana game, and just come out there and I need to be the one that sparks that, and I need to make sure that I'm bringing that all game, and that's going to be crucial. So I get that.
You talk about that spark. How do you do that both leading up to the game, but also doing it in the game where maybe you guys might be in a rut, and maybe you might be in a rut, but you feel like you need to spark something?
I don't know if there's one answer to that question. It's really just an energy that you bring and that look in your eye. That's kind of how I try to lead, is just, by bringing everybody's energy up, bringing the vibes up, whatever it is during the week of practice, making sure everybody's flying around to practice, and then during the game, just staying on everyone and making sure that, I'm just positive reinforcement, whatever it is, staying on those guys and making sure that they hear me all game, no matter what, no matter if it's good or bad, and being positive all game.
Right next door, Spencer Holbrook, Letterman roll.
A lot of what we've heard about this playoff run is that you guys need to play loose, fast, free, things of that nature. What does that mean for that? Playing loose is usually used as like a bad term. What does it mean for you to go out there and, I don't know, if it's let it rip or...
Who's been saying that?
Heard Ryan mention that, play loose.
Yeah, I was just asking. I just hadn't heard that yet. I don't listen to anything, but I guess playing loose for me is really just kind of not thinking about things and letting it rip. Just having my feet underneath of me, making good decisions with the football, and also kind of just letting the game come to me and not forcing things to happen. I think that's really, when we're able to get the ball out on the perimeter and I'm able to get the ball in our playmakers' hands and have a high completion percentage, I think that's when we have a lot of success. So if I'm able to distribute the ball early and get the ball into our playmakers' hands, I think that for me is, I guess, playing loose.
Got time for just a few more. Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, Coach Day said you are very resilient, that you move ahead very well. How much Michigan is still in you?
It hurts, man. I'm not gonna lie. We all still feel it, but we moved on. We're moved on now.
How do you do that? Is it what's ahead of you? You just sort of close that off?
Yep.
And how do you? I imagine in situations like after that game, the brotherhood gets tested. Offense versus defense. How do you weather that stuff and come together, sort of stay together and not splinter?
You gotta talk, and you gotta work the issues out, and I think we did, and we came in here and we talked, and we hashed some things out, and it brings you together. You have to work the issues out, and I think we discussed some things, and we talked about it and how we're going to be able to finish this thing the right way, and I think keeping in our minds that everything is still in front of us has been the biggest thing that we're clinging to, and just saying, listen, we can still go out here and win a national championship, and and right the wrongs that happened in that game. Like, obviously we don't get a chance to play them again, but we can still go win the whole thing, and that's what we're trying to cling to right now.
Did it get pretty intense?
I mean, no, yeah, yes, it was. It was tough. It sucked. Yeah.
Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
You wear your emotions on your sleeve a lot. You don't really hide them very well. Even right now, you're getting frustrated answering questions about Michigan in this moment. Ryan always talks about execution fueling emotion, and it seems like with you sometimes it can be the other way around. How do you channel that? How have you learned to channel that emotion where, yeah, you're frustrated here, but when it's time to go execute, you're still able to do that, which is clearly what's going to have to happen.
Yeah, it's experience, man, and just doing it. And I feel like you kind of have to do it the wrong way to learn how to do it the right way. I don't know if that makes any sense, but, in my times at K-State, early in my career, there would be times where, I threw a pick and I immediately just down, plummet, and my play plummets. And, I think really the only way to learn that is to go through it. And I've just gone through it so many times. I've felt the ups and downs, the peaks and the valleys of college football. And, I've really said to myself, like, listen, I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to be perfect. There's always going to be something that goes wrong in a game. It's about how you come back from that. And you can't let one thing, one mistake, one loss, you can't let that mess everything else up, because that's when the real problems start. And that's when the real problem started for me early in my career, was when I let those little mistakes that I made in practice or during games or whatever it may be, when I let that affect me down the road, that was when the problems really started. So, yeah, man, like, going back, like, that game, it sucked. It was terrible for all of us, terrible loss. But, man, we can't let them beat us twice. We can't. And that's how I've kind of, just through my journey in college, I've learned that, it's better to use that as motivation and to come back from it and to try and challenge myself to be better and rely on my intrinsic confidence and not listen to what everyone else is saying. And at the end of the day, just going out there and continuing to have the routine every single day. And when you have a routine, it makes things a little bit easier. But, you still feel it. You still feel it. But you got to move forward, man.
By not beating you twice, you mean mentally?
Yes, mentally, exactly.
Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Well, as you look back on that loss and reviewed it, what did you learn from it? What did you take away, just the way you played and kind of the way you moved forward?
What have I learned? Can't turn the ball over, and we're moved on, man. We're moved on.
And physically, have you been since
Good.
that game?
Yep, feel good.
We'll wrap it up. Tim May, Letterman Row.
Yeah, I was wondering, as you look at a defense like Tennessee's, kind of like Michigan's and stuff, explain to people who don't get to stand where you stand and see stuff. Do you just see smaller windows, both in the running game and the passing game? You understand what I'm saying? You have to be more crisp?
Not really, no.
Well, meaning they've got good defenders. I mean,
yeah, they do.
They're going to be on top of wide receivers. The creases that were there against Marshall aren't going to be there against Michigan in the run game a lot and stuff. I mean, so I guess how precise do you have to be in your decision making, et cetera, on a game coming up Saturday night?
Yeah, I feel like. Can you just rephrase that one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, in other words, how quickly do you have to be on? You have to assimilate what you're seeing and make your decisions.
Yeah, everything happens a little quicker.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what. Okay. Yeah, like everything happens a little quicker in games like that. Yeah. And when you're playing against teams of this caliber, you can't let one thing, mess up a play. Like little details matter even more. Like you can't let a guy maybe come inside on a block or blow up a bubble play. They're going to be a little quicker. And I think number 3, their corner's a really good player. I think their defensive front is unbelievable. I think they've got some really stout guys inside. They're a little harder to move for the O-linemen, So whether it's getting some double teams on those guys or finding some ways to move them or slow them down. There's different things that go into it schematically. But at the end of the day, you're still playing ball, and I don't really think about it that much. I mean, maybe the windows are a little tighter, but at the end of the day, football is football, and you got to execute the plays that are in front of us. So whether it's whoever it is or Tennessee, You know, I just know that in these playoffs, you know, everything's going to be turned up a little bit. And everyone always tells me, you know, in the NFL, there's 3 seasons. You know, there's the preseason, the middle of the season, and then the playoffs. And everything just gets faster. And I assume, you know, this is the first playoffs I'm playing in. But, you know, I've played in the postseason before, and it's different. It's a different speed. So definitely gonna need to be on our stuff a little more.
And despite the plays that are called, do you have it in your mind that ultimately you're the guy, I mean, who finally makes the play? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, Patrick Mahomes running around, you know, guys that can make plays off of plays and stuff. Do you have to always keep that in your mind that it's finally up to you?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I have the chalk last. And, you know, I'm the one out there that, you know, we talk about all the time. I'm the run game coordinator. You know, I can make some things, you know, right that maybe aren't perfect. And, you know, the thing is, you know, we may have a play drawn up for some coverage, and they're going to run a different coverage, and you got to take a check down, and you got to throw it away. And it's just those little things, managing the game and not making, you know, forcing things to happen, or things that I used to do at K-State. You know, I remember this one play in particular at K-State when I was playing Oklahoma State. I called this play for cover 2. They go cover 3. I still throw it, pick. It's like I just tried to make something happen, and I was like, oh, we're calling this play to throw this ball, and I still threw it. But here, being able to recognize, hey, they went cover 3, just take a check down. Like, just move on, next play. And that's really what the biggest thing is like staying on schedule, not making those mistakes that can put you behind the sticks or potentially turn the ball over. That's the biggest thing for me. And I know in these playoffs, taking care of the football is going to be paramount.
Will, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Go Bucks.
All right, folks, we got to be out of here.